Okay, so for this first one, we need to use the method where we factor out a monomial. So the highest common factor of these two is going to be 2x. If I take 2x out of the first expression, I'm left with 2x. If I take 2x out of minus 6x, I'm left with minus 3. So the first solution is easy. X is equal to 0. But the other solution, here from the factor, we've got 2x minus 3 needs to equal 0. So just put this up as an equation. When it's slightly more complicated, the factor, put it up as an equation, set it equal to 0. Because that bracket has to equal 0, according to the null product theorem. We put it like this, and then we just use linear algebra to rearrange the linear equation until we get x is equal to 3 over 2.
Can we stay there for 1 second before you go to B?
I'm not. I'm adding 3 to both sides of the equation. And then I'm dividing both sides of the equation by 2. So I've got 3 divided by 2 as my answer. Okay, B. Is this a binomial or a trinomial?
It's a binomial.
This is a trinomial. It's a trinomial. We need to rearrange this into the form x squared minus 3x minus 40 is equal to 0. So you might need to add and subtract a little bit, or multiply and divide to get to this point. You always want to get to the point where you've got x squared at the front. Not 2x squared, not minus x squared, but x squared. So now we can look for the factors of 40. The 40 is we're going to have 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10. We've got one yet. Let's go for 8 times 5. So now we need to look at the signs. Because this sign here is negative, we're going to have x plus something, x minus something. So now I looked at this sign here, which is negative. If this sign is negative, it means the bigger of the two numbers has to be the one that is negative. So it's this last factor pair of 5 plus negative 8, which is going to give me the negative 3. So I've got x plus 5, x minus 8. So the solutions are x is equal to minus 5 and x is equal to 8. Now in C, a lot of people make the mistake of expanding the brackets on this one and then trying to factorize it. It's already factored. It's already factored. This one is actually the easiest one, because we just start off with the zero product theorem and say that 3x minus 2 is equal to 0, or 2x minus 5 is equal to 0. If I add 2 to both sides of this one, I get 3x equals 2, and if I divide through by 3, I get x is equal to 2 over 3. Karim, can you not tap? If I add 5 to both sides of this one, I get 2x is equal to 5. If I divide by 2 on this one, I get x is equal to 5 over 2. Okay, the last one. Now this one we will notice is not a trinomial and it doesn't have an x term. So you want to aim to use the characteristic equation x squared equals a, and then take square roots of both sides. So let's start by rearranging a little bit. We can add 24 to both sides to give 6x squared equals 24. We can divide, so let me just write that up. I'm adding 24 to both sides. Then I'm going to divide by 6 on both sides. If I divide 6x squared by 6, I get x squared. If I divide 24 by 6, I get 4. Next, I take square roots of both sides, adding the plus minus, and this gives me x is equal to minus 2, x is equal to 2.
Wait, what are you doing with the